how serious is this issue? Is this the national crisis or auto theft? Because now this is not an auto theft. This has become more dangerous. Invasions in the home, even on the Brampton driveway, the car was stolen with the LMG. So how you see this as a national crisis, and what is the outcome of these kind of auto summits? Because already we had 3 in the last 1 year.
Yeah, listen, it is an epidemic. It is very serious. You know, the type of violence that's been committed has been increases. They've adapted and changed, and it is national in scope because cars that are stolen here in Ontario and other places in the country are exported through different ports. So we're all affected. You see, here today, you say, what's the value of this summit? Part of it is to reassure the public that the policing sector for sure are working together, and we do have great partnerships with the public sector, also with government. Mayor Brown had said, they were slow to act, but they're in all feet right now, and they're providing resources and willing to help us solve this problem.
Deputy, when it is too late, as the Mayor Brown also said, Chief also said, it's too late if federal government acts now because most of the damage has already happened. What is the reason that federal government or MPs or the province, they are not acting, and they have not acted in last 3, 4, 5 years when our cars were going out of the country and Canada became a bigger source of stolen vehicles, and there were suggestions by the Peel Police Board also that let's stop the export of the used car. Let's make CBSA a part of it. And still, politicians, they are making mockery of this system also, but we don't see actions on the ground by the federal or province.
So listen, as with respect to how long it's taken, all I can tell you is this: in the last year, certainly, both the provincial government and the federal government have been on side. Today, Minister Varani was here. Minister Kersner, through the Ford government, has been there from day one, supporting the policing sector through grants, through funding, through encouraging the joint force task forces. To deal with this issue. So you know what, they're all hands on deck right now. They are part of this. They were here today. They've heard the issues we had. They've heard the solutions. And if you would have heard Minister Kersner today, he himself was pushing towards the private sector, the automobile industry, to make sure that they're doing what they can, as well as encouraging the courts to make sure that they deal with repeat violent offenders, so that it is not there's consequences to the action. So I think it's at a great start. Chief Dirapas mentioned today that last year the summit had a sort of a different focus, maybe same topic, but it's changed, it's iterated. I think it's a more coordinated approach right now, and we are making progress. You heard the stats, so there has been progress, and we are working with our partners in all sectors, including the government.
One of the Toronto police officer recently mentioned in that video gone viral across the country that keep your keys on the vehicle before you go to sleep. How you see that statement, whether what was that statement in a different context or really he means that keep your keys so that you can save?
So thank you for the question, because the officer's been vilified for a soundbite, a snippet. What he was trying to say and get across was, do not put your safety or your family's safety in front of somebody who's broken into your house to take your car, to steal your car. The focus should be, instead of misinterpreting a soundbite, the focus should be on the criminal that put that family or our citizens in jeopardy, breaking into the house. That's the focus, not the officer who's trying to help somebody understand this and try to deal with it. It's traumatic when you get your car stolen, and people want to do as much as they can, but these folks have shown they're armed, they're dangerous, they'll hurt you. So his message was, not to leave it in the door or on the doorstep with a cup of coffee and something to eat. No, just, do not put yourself in front of somebody who is broken into your home to steal your car.
And what is your message to the Canadians, to the Torontonians, to the Ontarians, those who are watching you, when they say that police is not doing anything, that is, we are into the circles. Every day we see multiple carjackings, home invasions, violent carjackings, and people, Canadians, they are at this moment, they are not happy. with the governments, with the politicians. Being a deputy chief of Toronto Police, what is your message to Ontarians?
So I'm not sure that the general public feels that the police aren't doing anything. As you've heard from the chiefs that were here today, we're at the back, and once a car is stolen, we get involved, and we can to make sure that we recover the property, apprehend the folks that are doing this. And as a sector, we are coordinated. As I said earlier, it's a multi-sectoral approach. We all have to work together to make sure that we do this. But through awareness, we're trying to get the community involved to make sure that they understand that there are some things that they can do to help this. And hopefully together we can make Canada a less lucrative target through legislative changes, through bail reform, through consequences to criminals who are doing this.
If you want to make accountable into this, because this is a heinous crime and happening for last many years of the carjacking and violent and home invasions, whom you will say that party is accountable, the government, federal level, the province level, or police forces, who is accountable on this? These are the Canadians' questions. Who is accountable for these mess?
The criminals are accountable. The people who do this, who perpetrate this crime and create victims, they're the ones that are responsible for this. Together, all those levels that you talked about, together we're trying to solution this. I hope you and the public that may be watching this are encouraged by the fact that we're all together saying the same sort of things, right? It's not one entity that can solve this. We have to do it together. But really, the blame and the focus should be on the people that are doing this, and behind them is organized crime. This is not just a property crime. It's not a 15-year-old who's stealing your car because you left it running, going to the mall, and dropping it off. These are violent people who run from the police, who will drive dangerously, put other people at risk on the roads. That's where the focus should be. That's where the blame should be.
And what Ontarians should do on this? What they should do if they see these kind of activities, home invasion and the carjacking, the violent with the arms, what they should do?
Listen, there's a lot of proactive stuff that they can do, and of course call the police. And I think we are getting the calls from the public. What they should not do is put themselves at harm. It's not worth getting injured for your car. Cars, it's a valuable piece of property, probably the second most expensive thing that people buy outside their homes. We're a large country. People commute. They rely on their cars to get to work, to get their kids to schools, and all that kind of stuff. So it is a huge impact. But what they can't do is again jeopardize their safety or their family's safety.
Okay, and police also has the barriers. They can't cross that. And public, when they call the police, that's their complaint also, that many times police don't reach. They said, it's a car has gone, just call your insurance. They don't show up to put that report also. That is also concerned by the Canadians.
So, I don't know if that's the reality. We're not telling people just to call insurance. That's something that we would take an occurrence, we would investigate, because we understand what this is about, this car theft and what's behind it. And when you asked earlier about, is this a national issue? It is, because it's organized crime. This is, again, just not somebody, stealing an iPhone. And that's bad enough as it is. It shouldn't happen at all. But this is bigger than one person. There are organized people who are paying criminals lots of money to do this. There's big money to be made, and that's where we have to step in to make sure that it's not lucrative. It's not easy to do that.
Are you saying that government should step up? They should do more because already it's too late. So they should do now before the elections next year?
No, listen. The politics of it. Like I said, I'm very encouraged with our federal representatives that are here today, Minister Varani, as well as Minister Kersner. Like the provincial government and the federal government recently have stepped up and are talking about this. They're putting money at this. They're encouraging police agencies to partner, doing all we can to do this. So, try to be positive and look at moving forward, not looking back. Right? We need to get on top of this together as an entity, both the policing sector and private sector and the government, to reduce the incidences of car theft and carjacking.